listen, thank you very much for joining us. I'm Frazer Chesterman. Thank you, Sarah, for introducing me and the panelists. Hopefully, as you can hear us now. Gents, it would be good if you just quickly did an intro. I know a lot of people know all of you, but just do an intro for anyone who doesn't know you. Start with you, because I think you're pretty famous here, aren't you?
Yes. So yeah, my name is Francois Aguilar, and in fact, I was working with Seiko the last 20 years, and I joined KAO as a Chief Commercial Officer 3 years ago. So I was more coming from the printhead side and now moving to the chemical part, to the ink part. And I'm, yes, now responsible mainly for EMEA territory in terms of sales and marketing. So that's my new function now.
And it's KAO and it's inks.
It's KAO, exactly.
And they have good experience of corrugated.
Definitely, yeah.
And
KAO,
good experience of decor as well.
KAO is a chemical company, Japanese chemical company, and in fact, they decided to go into the inkjet world, let's say 5 years ago. So they decided to acquire Chimigraf and Collings in US. So now everything is fully integrated. And Chimigraf has a long experience with corrugated markets, thanks to Flexo technology that we are still handling today. And we have a lot of contact with converters, with many companies who are dedicated to the corrugated market.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. If you could pass the mic over to Eladio. Yeah. Eladio, just explain who you are, anyone who doesn't know you. Tell us a bit about Barberan.
Well, first of all, I don't work for Seiko. Okay.
You don't? Never have? You've never worked for Seiko?
No, I have never. So I'm the only
one
here that has never worked for Seiko.
Do you like Seiko?
Yeah, I like it.
Good,
like it.
good.
Yeah, nice.
That's good enough for us.
They have nice products. Well, I'm the CTO of Barberan since 2006, more or less. Okay, when we started our adventure with the inkjet, and today we have a lot of products or inkjet products around the industry. We print flip-flops in Brazil. We print corrugated worldwide. We print also decor in decor market, paper, aluminium, metal. Not glass. Okay, somebody here from glass. Yeah, but we always try to help to the customers to find industrial solutions, which is many times very difficult because it requires a lot of technology and a lot of effort from our side, from our suppliers like Seiko side, and from also ink suppliers. But as you know, the success is a result of the effort of all the team. And here's where we are succeeding, because we have very good partners helping us.
Eladio, has it always been a smooth experience, what you've been doing? Has it always been very easy, this, or have there been tough days?
No, it is not easy. I mean, every project and everything it requires a lot of time and effort.
Yeah.
Many times I have to convince to the customers that when they start, it will require almost a year to arrive to a good level of production. And doesn't matter even our experience and what we know. It is also to implement a technology like this inside a factory, inside a production. It requires a lot of effort from the customer place.
Mm. So it's a twofold partnership between you, the supplier, and then the customer.
Yeah.
Working together.
Yeah, working together. But not only that. Sometimes I have to do like a psychologist, and I have to help. Sure, all of you know very well about what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
The first year when you implement this technology is a year where you must help the customer to understand the new technology and to understand the new processes and to help him to understand that he will succeed. Sure, but he will have to do a big effort. Okay, it is not something easy. And all of you know very well what I am talking about. Okay?
You make it sound like you've occasionally gone to bed feeling like with a headache and a nightmare in your mind. Has it been like this?
Yeah, always. Since I started, every day.
You had a lot of hair there.
Yeah. No.
Say no more.
One of the Beatles.
Yeah, exactly. You were one of the Beatles. Thank you. Thank you for your introduction. Miguel, tell us a bit about you. I know people know you. I know people obviously know you from Seiko, but just explain a bit more about your role to the audience.
Okay, I have a sales role in this organization. I joined last year in March, and I'm covering Portugal, Spain, and Italy. And I try to make things happen because as Eladio and Francois know very well, this is about connecting people very often. So it's not just about, this is my product, let's see what you can do. You need to connect people and help them with many different topics, especially when they are new to this area. I mean, from what you were saying, it takes them 1 year to get good production from a machine. Imagine how long it takes to develop this machine from scratch. So there is a lot of hand-holding and support that we try to do from our side. Yes.
Now listen, we're going to split this panel discussion into two parts really, and the first part is talking a little bit about corrugated. And obviously we're focused here on digital print for corrugated. So what's Seiko's experience of corrugated? I know this connection between like ceramics and corrugated. It's like we've learned something from the ceramics world that we might apply to the corrugated world. What can you share with us? And then I'll talk to the guys a bit more about that. Go on. What do you know? What is Seiko?
Little, very little.
Okay. Go on. You tell the audience what you think the learning experience is.
No, I mean, I guess the learnings from the ceramic sector is to have a solution which is really industrial and can be used by people with big fingers, let's say. So this is very important because normally there is no love or attention for these systems. So trying to take these learnings and then joking aside, more technical details like drop sizes, throw distances, viscosity range of the droplets, these kind of things. We have a lot of experience. We have played around with many of these things. We have strong partnerships also with ink manufacturers, and I think we are in the right ballpark to make a dent into this business, yes.
Okay. Eladio. I'm really interested in this kind of how can you really see that ceramics, digital inkjetting ceramics, you can learn something there that was applied to corrugated. It seems such a different world.
No, sure. I mean, I will explain you that in 2006, I think that I went to talk with Corrugated, with the CEO, and he was in a very small, in a room like this.
Yep.
He was building his machines. And then we started to understand that it was a tough job, okay, but we need to start. And he shown us, and this is something that I must say. I mean, for me, when I went to Corrugated the first time and I met Jose Vicente, okay, I knew already from our side that we Barberan, we were not going to go inside the ceramic market. Was another kind of machinery, another kind of market that we didn't know.
Yep.
But he shown us that it was possible to build an array of printheads, okay, that with 360 dpi was enough, okay, and that with 10 picoliters drop or 12 picoliters drop was also enough to start, okay. We did some tests, we did some, and then we decided, me together with Mr. Barberan, we decided that we were going to start that because we saw that it was a difficult way, but there was something there, okay. Is when you see that, okay, maybe it is not perfect, okay, maybe it will require time, but sure, there's a solution here inside. Okay, here in this kind of machinery exists a market, exists the possibility to do it. And this is what, in that time, ceramic shown us. Today, the machines from ceramics and the machines from Décor or even packaging are quite different. Even inside of Barberan, the machines for Décor and packaging are quite different, even in specifications, in speed, or even the stability of the machines. Okay, but the ceramic was sure the start point for all of us. I'm not saying only for Barberan. I don't want to take this point. I mean, also for HP and any others, EFI, all the others.
Sorry to interrupt. Do you sense there was there was a period of time where everyone was running towards ceramics in in the Rimini area, and the kind of everyone was trying to get in on that curve, on that kind of this growth opportunity for inkjet. Corrugated, is it a different pattern?
Yeah, it's completely different. I mean, in ceramics, in the end, the solution they took is like a parallel wall. It's similar, but it is not exactly the same. I mean, the machines for corrugated are more powerful. They need vacuum, and vacuum and currents of air are not. I mean, and the printhead and the inkjet are not really friends. I mean, you have a current of air underneath the printheads, which is catching the board, and at the same time you want to print at 600 dpi with at 120 meters per minute and with a 5 picoliters drop. Not really good friends.
Yeah.
Okay, and the vacuum, and you need that vacuum because the corrugated is not flat.
Yeah.
Okay, corrugated is warp always, warp, and it is the specifications of that are quite different. In case of ceramics, you can have a flat bed, okay, with the belt and so on, but you don't need vacuum, you don't need the currents of air there. It is many times we are thinking, and when we're talking Barberan about that, to contact to Adrian Newey to understand exactly what's happening there with the aerodynamics of the fluids and so on.
Yeah.
Okay, and many times it's tough to find the solutions for that, but we found that, and today we feel comfortable with the corrugated. But corrugated was a complete different challenge. But the beginning, yes, the beginning was ceramics, sure.
Good. Francois, I'm interested, obviously, because KAO, your strength and a lot of your history is in the flexo market, isn't it?
Yes.
And obviously, flexo is a technology for corrugated. So just explain a little bit about that experience, that transfer of knowledge, the experience of the analog markets. Just tell us a bit more.
Yeah, what we can see, as you said, about the industrial market, and what I can see from my side is that, yes, ceramic was just showing, at least to the other market, that an industrial application with inkjet is possible.
Yeah.
And I think that was really a good window for the market itself. What we see from our side in the corrugated with flexo technology is that this is completely different. It's an analog technology. You are working with machines that require a lot of maintenance. You are talking about anilocks. You are talking about plates. You are talking about flexo inks, which is an ink that you can play with it even after producing. You can change the viscosity. You can add products on it after producing. So this gives flexibility, but require a lot of manpower. So you have to get operators. You have to get real operators that know how to build and how to use this machine always. And this is also something which is getting more and more difficult. Honestly, now it's hard to find operators that can really work for this. And this is where we see that maybe there is a way for flexo to move step by step also to the inkjet, to come to a solution that is more accessible for them.
Because technologically, you don't need the same resources.
You don't need that for sure.
You can push a button
exactly.
and off it goes.
It's more, I mean, we are saying it's just push a button, which is simple, but I think all of us here knows that how complex is also inkjet. But at the end, to operate a machine is require less work than the flexo. That's clear.
Yeah. But there is a resourcing issue. I mean, that's across the markets, isn't it? There's
Today,
resourcing issues. It's difficult to find the technological
I
knowledge, know-how.
We can see that young people today, unfortunately, they don't want to go to such kind of area also.
Yeah.
They are looking more for technological developments and everything. They want to become
Startups,
more like,
digital
flexo
nomads.
is, I think, I don't know if you had a chance to visit some corrugated lines, but it's like, as we said also for ceramic, it's like,
quite traditional.
Very traditional, still dirty, we can say. There is a lot of dust, a lot of powder, there is humidity, water. So it's a kind of complex area to be operated, honestly.
Yeah. And just tell us a little bit about the relationship between the primers. Obviously, it's a bit different, isn't it? Because you have to lay a primer down on corrugated with digital.
Yeah.
So just explain.
Yeah. The fact is that years ago, I think many companies especially ink manufacturers, we were trying to find solution to do things without primer.
Yeah.
But I think there is some solution. It can be work, but the problem is you have also to rely a lot on the quality of the corrugated that you're going to use. And we cannot say there is one type of corrugated in the market. There is several types of quality. You have several types of, let's say, finished product like coated, uncoated, and everything. So.
Yeah.
And the best way, what we see in terms of giving a stability on the print is really to use primer.
Yeah.
Today is that this primer is the best solution is to use an analog primer, which is still the easiest solution, I think, for the moment. There is some work that we are also doing from our side to become more digital.
Oh, interesting.
But that will be the second step. And the best way is to find an analog primer that is really combining with the ink also, because you need to really do a job between the ink and the primer to make sure that it's working well, and that gives you, at the end, the best result.
Yeah, that makes sense. And is there, in terms of that primer, so are you, there's obviously a story around sort of aqueous inks versus UV inks. And we all kind of believe that aqueous inks are more ecologically sound, but there's a challenge, isn't there, with water-based inks on thing like corrugated. So you put your primer on, is there a curing issue there? You're using less energy, or you're losing, it's a more sustainable ink, but it's not, you know, you might have to cure it differently. So is it taking more energy? Is that, you know, is there a debate around that?
No, I think, yeah, I mean, UV is really, I think there was a kind of wrong image always in the market, like everyone felt like, yes, UV is like, you know, the biggest enemy for environmental. Yeah. And I think we, chemical companies, have been working a lot to improve that. We are coming now to the market with formulation which is good enough, I think, for the recycling. This was proven with machine, with final product, with external laboratories, that there was recycling, you know, corrugated with UV low migration inks, and the recycling amount of the corrugated was higher than even with some water-based inks,
sure,
honestly. So I think we should separate that. We have to see really what is the need of the customer, because some customer will accept water-based, some other no, some other will prefer the UV because on the product they want to achieve also. And it's clear that here the primer is really important. If you move to water-based, you have to have really a good primer that fits to the water-based.
And you have a product, is it LunaJet?
Exactly.
Does that help at all?
KAO is like, yeah, we have
explain that to the audience.
A special formulation of the dispersion itself that was patented and created by KAO, what we call LunaJet. So it's a special polymer that we developed, and we are encapsulated the pigment. What is the benefit of that is that this is making a stability into the ink. Okay, with water-based is always you have pigment inside, but then you have also always sedimentation issue, reusability also of the ink. And our technology with LunaJet, we can control that. We can really have a stability, which is good for the machine, good for the printhead, and at the end also for the application itself.
Yeah, interesting. Gentlemen, did you want to add anything more on into this discussion around corrugated?
And regarding the differences in between UV and water-based inks, I think that there's a lot of marketing in between. In fact, I mean, there's VOCs in the case of the water. In the end, I don't think that there's a clear solution, because in the case that a clear solution will appear, we will follow, all of us.
Yeah.
But still today, technologically speaking, is quite difficult.
Can I just ask, Eladio, do you sense that the converters, the packaging converters, are being told by their customers that you need to be more eco-friendly? Is there a push?
No, not really.
Even in Europe?
Yeah, even in Europe, it is not like this. It is, I mean, in the past, there was an issue regarding UV inks in Nestlé, and the problem was just that they weren't curing properly the ink, and that was the. But in that moment, Nestlé did a big noise saying that never they were going to use much more no longer the UV inks for that.
Yeah.
We must remember that those were, I think it was like a Tetra brick, can for milk for children. Okay, so and the ink was migrating inside, because if you don't cure, even water-based or whatever will go in, mix with the product, and that had a big noise, and then that did a big. But in our case, for instance, we are Barberan. Okay, we are using that ink in all the furniture that you have at home.
Yeah.
Okay, so you are putting the apples over UV surfaces. Okay, you are using a lot of even dishes, or to put the salad with the oil and mixing with UV coatings over. So in the end, it's just a question of marketing. We believe that the energy consumption, for instance, of the UV products are much less than the water.
Yeah.
And up to now, technically, and this is of course my responsibility. Today, the position of the UV is much better. But if the market finally decides to go to water, we will go to water. Okay,
just before we finish on corrugated, I just want to ask you more a generalist question around the corrugated market and digital print for corrugated particularly. There are a lot of manufacturers, or there are a number of major manufacturers pushing into this market, trying to make You know, create a demand.
Yeah.
EFI, Inca, you know, there's other machine makers
Sure.
out there. Can the corrugated market cope with this? Is it during COVID? Clearly, there was a surge in demand for corrugated
Sure.
because everyone was having everything delivered to their home,
Yeah.
and there was a big push.
Yeah.
So then all of a sudden we feel like there's going to be a massive growth in demand.
Yeah.
These manufacturers are here. Is there sufficient market out there?
Yes, of course.
Will it continue? What do you sense?
The corrugated will continue growing, but not at the speed, for instance, of
Fine.
the ceramics.
Yeah,
This is
fine,
what I
fine,
mean.
fine.
Why? Because in case of ceramics, appear a technology, inkjet, that was much better, much more efficient than the technologies they had before. Okay, imagine that you want to print something which is just sand. Okay, so if there's contact, okay, with that you are adding dirt to the clichés, to the offset, or whatever the technology that you use for printing. All the technologies before inkjet had contact with the surface. In the moment that appeared the inkjet in ceramics, there was no contact.
Yeah.
So there was a big advantage. Suddenly, the quality of the digital printing for ceramics improved a lot. But a lot it was impossible to compare. Even in the beginning, the quality of the digital printing was much better than the quality of the flexo systems or the gravure system that they were using. Why? Because when you are printing in ceramics, okay, still the product is still wet, okay, so the quality of the printing was not really good, okay. The dot gain, everything was going to hell every time that you were printing. Every time that they were producing, they were changing the color because they didn't have any stability on that. Okay, when the inkjet appeared, it was a big change, and it was suddenly the efficiency and the color management and everything was something that they can control. But this is not happening in corrugated, not happening in other industries. In other industries, inkjet is competing with technologies that were developed for that. Flexo was developed for that. A gravure printer was developed to print over paper, and it has hundreds of years.
Yeah.
So you cannot
Okay.
compare.
Cool. Did you want to add anything, Miguel?
Yes.
Just to finish off, and then I will ask if anyone else wants to ask a question about corrugated.
No,
You just say.
just a quick thing. I think in the ceramic sector, these big players, these plants, they do everything from beginning to end.
Yeah.
They press the material, they
Yeah.
create the slab, so they have the ability they control the whole chain, let's say. They have the raw material, and they produce
right.
the slabs from the other
That's right.
side. In this corrugated cardboard, if I'm not wrong,
It's delivered, isn't it?
there is a lot of intermediate steps
Yeah,
that
yeah.
you are missing. You don't get some, so
You're only part of the process, aren't
Exactly,
you?
so
it's only part of the
you
process.
have less
Yeah.
influence, maybe, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Think about design also.
Yeah. Yeah, that's right.
If
The
you-
creative element is
Yeah,
in there as well,
exactly.
isn't it? Yeah.
Look, take a ceramic that was printed maybe, I don't know, let's say 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah.
There's nothing to do with the ceramic today.
No.
I mean, and this is what I think in corrugated step by step is now coming, is people are understanding that they can create new designs with inkjet that can help and can be print on demand when they
Yeah.
need. Today, I think it's wrong still that people compare, to say, no, inkjet is too expensive compared to flexo. Of course, but you have to create new ideas, new demand for that,
Yeah.
new concept.
Yeah.
Printing of solid colors and so on. This is old-fashioned, let's say. So we
in a
have
way,
to think differently.
in a way, you're having, as an industry, to explain to the design world, to the brands, that actually digital should be used not just as
It's-
full production, but as a variable data, different designs, testing out, prototyping, creative. That's
Marketing
the push.
actions
Marketing,
or-
yeah, exactly.
It's clear. It's like,
Product.
I think there is a lot of things. I mean, to give you an example, there is now companies in US, they can collect data, let's say, a little bit more
Yeah.
easily, from the users, let's say, from maybe than Europe. But they can know if someone like, I don't know, a special perfume or something. And when you get a pack from Amazon, Amazon can, or this company of perfume can ask Amazon to put an advertisement or a voucher inside the box for
yeah.
you, dedicated for you.
Yeah, yeah.
And
yeah.
that's the only way to do that is inkjet.
Yeah.
You cannot do that with Flexo
Yeah,
because you
there's a-
cannot
there's-
customize like
There's
this.
a degree at which the creativity opportunity
Exactly.
from digital
Exactly.
is emphasised, isn't it? Because exactly as you said, you know, you get a box on your front porch or whatever, and it's a brown box, but as you open it, it could be printed.
Then exactly, you have your
An
product.
advert
Let's say your
of the next, yeah, exactly. So,
Yeah.
so it's actually a bit of us as an industry advising, you know, where the opportunity lies, isn't it?
exactly.
Yeah.
You need to understand that. Yeah. It's-
Cool. Any questions from the audience before we kind of wrap up the corrugated section? So, are you all very happy with what you understand about corrugated now? Any questions? No? Cool. Okay, thank you for that. Want to talk a little bit about the other side, which is sort of wood decoration. And obviously, actually, can I just ask, any of you in wood decoration market, flooring markets, just raise your hands. I'm not going to ask you a question, but if any of you are in it, it's useful for us to know. One or two, yeah, two or three, four, yeah, okay, good. So a few of you. There's four very shy people. Well done, well done, Eladio. Eladio, you should have led the Mexican wave. Yay! Yeah, okay. So interesting. So a few of you. That's good to know. So Miguel, maybe you can explain the relationship between Seiko and Barberan in terms of wood decor between the two of you.
My God.
Oh, no,
Yeah,
Seiko? Ah, no.
yeah. Yeah, he used to be, not anymore.
Well, I don't know the whole history, but it's a very long one.
He's not
Apparently,
that old, surely.
very long. I think it's so long. No. I think by now Eladio speaks better Japanese than many Japanese. So that's how long the history is. You see, so we have been working together for quite a while, apparently, and I think it's a very fruitful relationship, very open, and we try to support them as best as we can. Yeah.
Okay, so what in particular, what's special about Seiko heads for this particular production process?
I guess
Maybe you should, I should ask Eladio.
maybe
rather
yes.
than-
My
yeah.
auto propaganda.
Eladio, what is special about Seiko heads, or maybe they aren't special, but
They
why?
were cheap.
Yeah. Okay, let's not go there.
No, that's not the case. I mean, when we started with Seiko, it was. I will explain the full history, okay? Not extended version, but the history was that we started with Konica Minolta, because as I told you in 2006, I met also Jose Vicente, okay? And we saw that Seiko was a very good printhead for this application. Okay, but instead of that, because Jose Vicente didn't want to support us by selling the printheads to us,
Yep.
okay, we had to start with Konica Minolta. And we started with the KM 512 printhead, okay, to develop our machine, okay. 2 years later, and after having a lot of suffering, we had the machine working, and it was really successful, but we had also some trouble. We started to discover some troubles about the inkjet, okay? And in that moment, then I think that it was Seiko who contacted us saying that it was the printhead was available in that moment to the 500 AGS. Okay, we did some tests, and yes, we changed it to 500 AGS. Why? Because the reason why it was just the shareable system from Konica Minolta didn't work so well for our applications. It was much more stable. The stability of the 500H, the 500AGS was much higher than the stability of the Konica Minolta one. Why? I don't know. I mean, in that moment I was young, I had more hair, and probably I didn't understand most of the things of the inkjet that today I understand. But the result was that we changed it to Seiko because it was much more stable, and I mean the 508. I think it's a printhead that even today is very strong. I mean, if somebody wants to start with a printhead, he wants to start in inkjet, I will tell him start with 500 AGS. Things are much more Things are much more easy.
Eladio, can you just tell the audience, maybe some of them know, but I mean, I'm interested in understanding what the machine is like. What's the technology like that you've developed on this? You know, there are a couple of kind of inline production processes. So explain a bit more about what it looks like and what it feels like, and how it fits within a production process.
If we talk now, if we talk about a machine for Décor,
yeah.
Okay, we are talking about a machine which is not a standalone. It's a complete process.
Yeah.
I mean, many times those machines has 100 meters long.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, it starts with the feeder, it has a feeder and a stacker, but in between, before and after the printing, we have like 3, 4, 5 different stations where we apply different coatings, different products, water-based, UV, solvent, blah, 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 robots, spraying, a lot of them, okay, to arrive to the moment that we prime or we print, okay? Just before printing, we apply a primer, always. Yes, always. Somebody doesn't agree? Always. Why? Because it gives stability. And for industrial process, we need stability.
Yeah.
We don't want to see finger steps. We don't want to see somebody with the forklift that touch something. We don't want to see dust. We don't want to see influences of the temperature or whatever. The primer gives us the chance to have a correct surface just in the moment that we are going to print.
Eladio, the wood decor is very different from corrugated.
Yeah.
Because you're trying to create an effect, aren't you? A special effect, a kind
Yeah,
of
exactly.
a grain, if that makes sense. So,
Yeah.
so you know, working with Seiko, does that work well? Does it? Explain a bit more. Is it UV inks? What have you got to create that real effect? How do you do that?
If I explain you, I will have to kill you.
Okay, so you don't want to explain. Fine. Okay.
No, that's not true. I mean, in fact, I mean, first we create all those primers that are prepared for preparing the surface to print. Okay, all that stuff I have said that it is before printing, including the primer, it is to create a very good white surface, and over that white surface, smooth and flat completely.
Yep.
Okay, we put the primer and then we print, and everything before printing is for preparing the surface, the product, whatever, addition, scratching, whatever, before printing. Once we print, okay, with our marvelous printer with a Seiko printhead,
Well done. Well
Okay,
done.
yeah, so we
Well
have-
done. Yeah, there's the money.
and with KAO sometimes.
Yeah.
Then we have the machine, and later is when we do the magic of the texture, of the preparation of the print, because the printing itself, for instance, it is only, for instance, in corrugated where it is naked without any coating or without. Even in corrugated, sometimes we put a coating,
Yeah.
okay, to even the glossiness or whatever. But later, after the printing, the customer, what he wants to have is the appearance and the touch and the texture of the natural wood.
Yeah.
Of course, if you're printing wood,
It's crucial, isn't it? A
Yeah.
haptic effect. That
Exactly.
effect
Even-
that haptic, you know.
yeah, even in ceramics they do the same.
Yeah.
Okay, the people in other surfaces, for instance, if you are printing birds or whatever, the people doesn't want to feel that that's a real bird. But in case of the wood, yes, they want. I don't know what's the relation with human with the wood, but the wood, you cannot do mistakes with the wood. If you see dots with the wood, or you see that the texture is not the real texture of the wood, it seems plastic. It seems you don't like it. You want to have an effect of wood, and this is why later we apply different coatings
Yep.
up to. I think it has almost. Let me count them, like 6 or 7 layers to create the textures that we have there outside. 7, okay, and amazing technology that we have created also with our partners. I know that KAO is here, but I also want to mention to Sakata-san. Okay,
Yeah.
Sakata also
Sakata.
has developed very good also.
There
products
are
for-
other inks available, aren't there?
Yeah, they have also good things available for that.
Yep.
And also, I don't see Toyo. I don't see
Toyo
Toyo.
here
Ah,
as well,
Toyo,
yeah.
yeah. Toyo also they do a very good. We have these 3 suppliers. And all of them, I know they are fighting in between them, but also they are. I have to say they are excellent.
Yeah.
I mean, for me, they are the best in the world producing inks for Décor and for corrugated, because I love them, because many times they have to solve very difficult things and they do it very well with the highest technology.
Maybe I should just let you pass the microphone over to Francois so he can
No,
just say a few words about KAO. Francois, tell us a bit about your inks.
Yes. No, it's true that
Your
decor is,
experience.
as Eladio mentioned, is a process and production that, is more complex, require really a lot of process in terms of production. from our side, the challenge was really to adapt, you know, our inks to this process and also to the combination with different chemicals.
Yeah.
Like as we said, it was like primers, top coating, effects that was coming onto it. And that was an issue that for us where we had to think about, okay, how we can optimize this, how can we play with the colors also, because printing on PVC is not so easy also, to be honest.
No.
So you had to think about issues like you can face, like many people I think here heard about metamerism
Yes, yes,
effect, for example.
Do people know metamerism? Visual, chemical? Yeah, fine, okay. Two colours look the same under one light.
Yes.
Is that right?
So you have to, it's like a bleeding effect, let's
Thank
say.
you,
We can
yeah.
compare it like something like a bleeding effect, okay? And what you have to play is with the color in this case. You have
But
to
it gives
think
you
about,
it gives you an effect, doesn't it?
it gives you an effect.
Yeah,
It gives
right.
you really like you have
Grain
this kind of
effect.
strange effect when you
Yeah.
print on it. That's because of the mixture of the colors and how you apply this, because of the substrate also. And you have to play with different colors. For example, you have to use sometimes more red, more can be a special spot colors or something like that to achieve really the design that you want to achieve. So for us, as a ink manufacturer, the key point was to be flexible, to say we can design special colors, special inks, special version depending on the application, depending on the requirement also. Because here you are talking about something like ceramic that should be also very strong resistance in terms of light, in terms of, you know, abrasion and everything. So
Can I just ask, the people that put their hands up, are you using this technique, metamerism? Are you, just give us a nod if you are. Are you using this technique? No, that's interesting. Okay,
so
yeah.
but yeah, very complex, but also, yes, interesting area because we think it's an area that will grow. New things should come, I think also. It's a market that need to develop new technology.
When you say new technology, what are you thinking there?
Well, I said, like maybe Eladio mentioned, you know, printing directly on wood.
Yeah.
That could be very interesting
Yeah,
also,
yeah.
you know, because you can get already the effect of using wood, let's say, but the challenge is wood is like more porous, it's more difficult, so you have to use different types of
So what would you be
pigments.
doing that for? What would be the purpose of printing onto wood? To create another effect, but using a cheaper wood and then creating a higher value product? Yeah, is that right?
As a consumer, what do you prefer? To have a printing over plastic or over a natural wood?
Yeah, natural wood.
Because when the printing disappears, you still have the wood
Yeah,
underneath.
Yeah. So that's the idea that you basically.
Yeah, it's simple, isn't it?
It's a cheap alternative, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. No, cheaper alternative.
Well,
I mean,
a more ecological alternative.
ecological, and not only that. I mean, when it becomes old,
Yeah.
it's even nicer.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
then you can see the natural wood underneath. It's like when you paint. Yes, of course, you paint in white. Imagine I have natural wood. I painted on white. Yeah, but when it disappears the white, you have that nice wood that appears underneath the white, and that happens also with the printing. Maybe you have painted an oak, and also appears a pine underneath. It's very nice effect.
Yeah.
Okay, and it's something that later on in the future you can say, okay, this is natural wood, I can paint it. If it is plastic, you will not paint it.
No.
Okay.
No, that's an argument there in favour of wood, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Miguel, did you want to add anything around this subject?
Well, maybe just to make life more difficult, and maybe
No,
It is
make
true.
life more difficult.
no, just even with COVID, I remember that people were talking about coatings, antibacterial coatings,
Yeah, true.
coatings, very, very anti-slippery to be near swimming pools. It's impressive the number of things that can be done. Yes, but maybe reaching other levels of viscosity or particle sizes, some other effects can be created.
Can I just ask, how are you discovering these things? Is this the R&D department? Is it where are you finding these clever little ideas from? Are you
Well-
going out there looking for them, or?
Well, for us, honestly speaking, what we do is like, as we are doing, for example, with Barberan and all our partners, OEM also, is like really a cooperation that we work together on the project
Yeah.
and we do some trials. So the key is to understand that, of course, an ink can be adapted, an ink formulation can be changed, can be adapted depending on the printhead, depending on the surface, depending on, you know, a lot of things. So we need to work closely, I think, together with the printhead, with the OEM, so in order to fine-tune and to find the best way. And that's what we are doing from our side.
Yeah.
We do some laboratory tests, but I would say, and I'm the first one always to say, like even when it was more like in printhead side, laboratory is a beautiful place. You know, it's kind of where we can do everything. But when you bring it to an industrial point of view, things are different.
Yeah,
And the only way to confirm that, I think, from my point of view, is to do with a partner.
yeah, sure.
Again.
Just, Eladio, just to go back to the kind of the whole market, the wood decor market, the digital printed. Again, I'm just interested in you know, where you think this is going. We talked a bit about the trend in corrugated. I mean, the American market, is America good for this? I don't get a sense they like natural wood. Is it Europe that's the strong market? Where is the opportunity for this
Well,
kind of digital print for decor?
I will say something that everybody knows here. I mean, things changes
All the
every
time.
year.
Mm,
I mean, I remember when years ago Russia was an excellent market.
yeah,
All of you remember that. I mean, we were selling machines there, products there. That was growing. That stopped like 15 or 10 years ago. Okay, and now Russia is another thing. Today, it's United States, probably also Brazil. It's a very good market. South America.
for this particular technology, for wood decor particularly, or
For all, I think that in the end, for all technologies.
Okay,
I mean, for instance, now Americans they want to produce again. Okay. Yes, I mean, and it's really for us Europeans, it's quite funny to see them because they ask for things that we know from a long time ago, and it is like a child that wants to play with new toys. Yeah, no, I
there
promise
any
you, it's like
Americans?
that. I
Are
mean,
there any Americans in
they
the
don't
audience?
remember. They don't remember really what means to produce.
Yeah.
To do, I mean, something as simple as to do a parquet flooring. I mean, it is not so simple, but there's technology, and all the technology of producing parquet flooring, it is in Europe. I mean, the machines for tooling, the machines for printing, the machines for coating, all of that is in Europe. Okay, but the Americans. I remember we went to a company called Congolium that today doesn't exist, so I can talk about. Okay. Yes, and this company, it stopped because they started to produce in China. And the end, they were like a commercial.
Yeah.
But they have a factory that was huge. I haven't seen before. I mean, that factory was like 50 years old. Everything was stopped and rust. Yeah. But they wanted to produce again. But this was, like 6 or 7 years ago. We went there and we started to talk with them. But nobody of there remember what it was to have to produce, what it was a machine, the maintenance system, to have engineers there inside, and this is happening now in the United States. And in the United States, they have a huge quantity of money, and they want to produce again.
Yeah.
So today, for us, and I suppose that for most of us, it represents the most advanced market, because in fact, here in Europe, everything is done. Okay? Yes, I mean, yeah. Here we have factories for parquet flooring, a lot of them, of corrugated, of whatever. So, and it is just to keep and substitute some technologies for new ones. There's no technology, so they need new technologies, or they need new machinery there. And in South America, the good thing is that also they are growing their own markets. Okay, they are much better. They are like this. Sometimes they are here, but sometimes down. And today they are up. It's a good opportunity, and I have said to them. And also I see that that also Japan and the Asian market is also growing.
Yeah.
Okay, so I think that there's a lot of.
I mean, I was in New York last week at a manufacturing event, so I was there, and I sense that they are interested in what's happening in Europe, because you guys have developed the technology that they now want to be doing stuff in their market.
Yeah.
So they haven't developed the technology.
Mm-hmm.
The Europeans have, in the main, using European and Japanese technologies.
Yeah.
But the Americans haven't done it. They're now they're knocking on our door, trying to work out how to make digital work.
But they are different things. I mean, as
lots of different markets.
Yeah, I mean, it is one is just to produce, and the other, for instance, is to build machinery. To build machinery, you need a huge quantity of engineers, and this is what Europe have. Yeah. I mean, in case of Americans, they don't have this kind of
technological knowledge.
No, those engineers are working more in IT and so on. Yeah. They are not working on mechanics or this is what we have here. Also, for instance, the Brazilian ones, they are very good in chemistry. I mean, I have to tell you, yeah. I mean, all of you are very good, okay. But in terms of mechanics, also, you are also very good. I mean, you have companies that they produce machinery. They are in Brazil, which are very good, okay. Comparing with the level that of the rest of the world, especially with Americans. If you go to see, I'm really surprised when I'm going to see sometimes the machinery made in America is low-end machinery. It looks more Chinese than American. I mean, it is not our European
Sophisticated
standards,
in
and
the
that's
same.
why we have also, as European, we have an opportunity there.
Definitely. Okay. Would any of you like to add any more to the discussion around the decor?
He was talking something about
Yeah. Go on.
No.
I think you should say something about how fine the Seiko heads are and how wonderful they would be in this market.
No, not talking about that. I think it's very important.
Are you going to be used in United States? No, really?
No. No, but I think it's very important to keep always good communication with OEMs. I think this is critical to find who are the right people to talk about. It's super important communication. This is vital.
May I do a question?
I insist, very important.
Okay, why your main customers of printheads are located in Europe and China and not in Japan?
What is
It's a difficult question, isn't it?
A slightly unfair question.
I cannot answer to that one. Sorry.
I think, is there any more, anything else that you would like to ask as an audience? Yes, there's a question at the back there. Could you shout it out, please?
Yes, we are exactly using similar application. So practically,
Who are you? Just explain who you are. Okay.
one more time.
Yeah. Now it's better. Yes. My name is Abdel Al-Allawi from Seiko GmbH here in Germany, and we are printing on edge bands.
Edge bands,
So,
okay.
so it's known for you. So
Edge band
printing,
technology.
yeah. So wood decoration on plastics. In this case, you are talking about printing on PVC, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, so do you have like experience with printing on PP and ABS?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yes, also.
Yeah, okay, because we are printing now inkjet on edge bands, and we are planning to expand to also are searching for new machines and in terms of white primer and all adhesion tests and scratch tests and so on. Yeah, so do you have machines on the market already printing on PP and ABS and?
Yeah, we have many.
Yes.
Some of them even in Brazil. Okay.
Yes.
And here we have also some here. We have also some here in Europe.
Yes.
And I think I invite you to come to Barberan, and so I will show you, because we have machines there. And I mean,
Yes.
if we talk, I mean, in detail, I will
Yes,
explain
yes.
how we
Because
do
we have an English machine and the Italian machine without mentioning the manufacturer.
Who the manufacturers are.
Yeah, but yeah, for now, I mean, we are looking for a new machine and also to printing on up to like 3 millimeter thickness.
You can,
Yeah.
now, next week, I think we have one in Barberan.
Yeah.
These machines, I invite you to come before we ship it.
So there you go. There's an opportunity to talk
Nice.
after the
Actually,
panel
next week
discussion.
I'll be not available. I'll be
Well,
on
the two-
vacation. But yes, we have to stay in contact because we are looking for such an application, even for our current machines, for which primer.
If you're interested,
Yeah.
but I will explain that to print onto plastic there are several challenges.
Yes.
For instance, the vision, depending on the product, especially propylene, polypropylene, polyester. Also, we have to do sometimes Corona.
Yes,
or,
definitely.
Or
Yeah.
plasma.
Yeah,
or
for PP and so.
Or I have seen also even fire. I mean, just with
Yes, we are using files. We are using flame.
also using blood.
No, not that much.
No, I mean.
Yes,
it's a-
definitely, yes.
Who brings onto plastic knows that that's a disaster. I mean, we need to apply many times a lot of technology and a lot of tests to arrive to a good conclusion about.
And maybe to use anti-static or something. Yes,
Look at so we have very good anti-static systems.
Okay.
Some of them are in closed loop. We are reading the statics and applying the correct level of statics, because if not, from the beginning to the end of the reel, you have different levels of statics also.
Yes, yes,
So
yes.
that's crazy. Okay, and if you want to do a long run, you have to take care about that to keep constant statics. Not to take it out, to keep it constant. Because if not, you have different prints. Yes. Okay. The mist instead to go to the substrate goes to fly, and then you have a different result in color. So to keep also good stability in the printing, you need also the statics, also to cool down every time, depending on the thickness of the plastic. To keep the temperatures absolutely necessary, okay, with water cooling and blah blah blah.
Yes.
Yeah, there's a lot of issues in plastics, and it is not easy. I mean, I think it's one of our most advanced technology today is to print onto plastics.
Yes.
Not only for expanding, also for SPC, and also sandals. Yeah, food products also in Brazil.
Yes, and also handling rolls,
Yeah,
rolls,
and it-
the thickness of 3 millimeter, and yes.
Guys, I'm going to suggest that you two have a conversation
Yes,
after the
yes.
panel, otherwise
Yeah, otherwise we
quite
will
an
use the whole
individual
time.
panel discussion.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm going to say that I think we'll probably wrap this up now. We're coming up to 2 o'clock. Give these three guys a round of applause. Thank you. And I would just say, listen, thank you very much for joining this panel, but also thank you very much to the Seiko team who've done an absolutely fantastic job. Can we get the Seiko team to just come up here and give them a round of applause? Seiko team, come up here, come up here. Give them a round of applause. These guys have done a great job. What an amazing... Yeah. Absolutely fantastic. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.